Ballroom dancing was way more popular than treadmill. And so my point, she also said it eloquently, just like you did, that this, I think part of what ideally makes exercise great is that you can get into your body, get out of your mind, and finally just release some of that tension.
Yes.
And that, and for you, the way that you're doing it, with kayaking, it's more contemplative. With dancing, it's more celebratory.
Yes.
And so you get you have a balance of both things that you get to engage in. Hey, it's Ultra Life today. Kyle Drew, meat eating, tofu hating nutritionist, sitting in for my good buddy Josh Bellew and Adam Payne, my buddies. And, in their absence, I get to decide who I want on the show. And I chose my good buddy, Lisa Loos. She is a nutritional health coach at Natural Grocers in Oklahoma City. Lisa, welcome. Hey, Natural Grocers is, boy, I hope that you live in an area that has a Natural Grocers. They moved into Oklahoma City a few years ago, and now there's 5 different stores in the metro area. Yes. We've been shopping there for a while. Good place. Part of the reason also is Ultra Botanica, who sponsors this show. It's their show. They've partnered up with Natural Grocers, have put in a few products in their store, so you can pick those up at any Natural Grocers across the country, 170 plus stores, by the way. But also at every one of those stores, there's a real live nutritional health coach, just like Lisa.
Just like me.
You can go in, make an appointment, and for free, have someone walk through your good health plan, not medical advice, but good ideas for eating, for supplementing, for movement. Am I getting this right?
Yeah. And so much more.
And so much more. Okay, so there's more.
Yeah, there's more.
Okay,
we have the private sessions, and they are for free, totally for free. We'll do a health evaluation and then help them get where they want to be. We also teach nutrition and cooking classes.
Yep.
Then we also teach classes in the community. We do community outreach, meaning we go and support events. We have a whole bunch of things. We'll help them shop. They can call and ask questions. It's kind of a service that Natural Grocers thinks is very important to give away to the community. They're very community-based company, and so that's why I have a job.
Yeah, I would be very frustrated if I was still doing nutrition counseling, because you've kind of doing what I did professionally, but you're doing it for free through Natural Grocers. Yeah. And I was actually trying to make a living doing this. And so thank goodness this is happening long after my career as a nutrition counselor. I don't want to compete with you.
Yeah, that's hard.
So let's try to think through a couple of things. Okay. Exercise. Okay, I don't want to be the show that says, okay, now exercise. Here are 3 things that are good about exercise. You feel better. No. You already know that exercise is good for you. You know this, right? Surely you do. We have to move. I don't care what it is that you gotta move a little bit. But what I want to talk about a little bit is a lot of people are so bored by exercise, and I believe it's because they have not found the thing that absolutely triggers their excitement. They don't look forward to it. You and I were talking, and you kind of went off into this dream world of exercise. And I was like, Oh my gosh, that sounds a lot like love.
Yeah.
The way you did it. I'm not asking you to try to replicate that, but give us your philosophy of exercise, Lisa.
Okay. I'm not going to, my philosophy is move. We know that. I'm going to tell you what I do. Mm-hmm. And this is what I do. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite forms of exercise is dance. So I go out dancing. That's, modern. I'm looking into taking salsa and ballroom lessons.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. But the dance, why do I do dance? It makes me forget about everything. And that's really important, because if I'm stressed out from work or what I have going on or whatever is the issue that's weighing down on me, that's a thing that makes me forget. So that takes me out of flight or fight. So that's a survival instinct. Survival is not where we thrive. We don't thrive in fighting to get our way. We do it by releasing that, so to speak. So when I go dancing, I forget about everything except how my body's moving, thinking of the songs I'm listening to. And that's why we said it's kind of like being in love, because you don't think about things, you just enjoy the moment. But since I go, like I went last Friday night, I had something to really celebrate. And I danced for like 2.5, 3 hours straight.
Nice.
And so that, when you think of it, if you put it in gym terms, that's Zumba for 2.5, 3 hours.
That's true.
That is a good workout. That's cardio, that's leg work, that is twisting in different ways.
And it didn't feel like exercise.
No, and it doesn't. And so that's the thing.
That's the point.
Yeah, is getting something you're passionate about. Another thing, when I'm not dancing, I like kayaking.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
so,
right. Yes.
That's not so much for your legs, since you're just sitting there, but your arms get a different workout. So a variety. People have to find what is passionate at any age. And like I said on the last one, I'm 62. It doesn't bother me that I'm 62. I'm going to go dance anyway. I'm going to go kayak anyway, because that's part of longevity, is finding these things you're passionate about and living. Not saying, well, I'm too old to do this. I don't have that mindset. That doesn't even cross my mind.
I can't imagine that it would. I know you too well.
Yeah, that doesn't. I never say, oh, well, I can't go enjoy that because I'm too old. Or no,
I love that you're saying. See, this is kind of where I wanted to go. Exactly what you're saying, because I've been doing a radio show here in Oklahoma City called Super Health for 22 years. And for a number of years, I had a nurse practitioner who was on the show with me every week for the first segment. We'd ask questions, talk through things. And so one day I brought up exercise. And I thought she was going to say, okay, so 20 minutes of cardio, make sure 3 times, and make sure in strength train, the same old. And I said, so how should we think about it? And she just says, I don't know how to think about it. What I do, ballroom dancing. And
fun.
She said that, and I was not prepared for it. And do you know that we got more positive feedback from that show and from that piece of advice than almost anything we ever talked about? Way more than make sure and take vitamin C. Yeah. Ballroom dancing was way more popular than treadmill. And so my point, she also said it eloquently, just like you did, that this, I think part of what ideally makes exercise great is that you can get into your body, get out of your mind, and finally just release some of that tension.
Yes.
And for you, the way that you're doing it, with kayaking, it's more contemplative. With dancing, it's more celebratory.
Yes.
And so you get you have a balance of both things that you get to engage in, I think.
Yeah, we could do more than one.
So there's not just one. Okay, take notes.
Not just one.
Not just one.
No, because everything, there's different. Think about it. Dancing is more fluid. You move different ways. So say you wanted to age well or just feel good. Those different movements help with balance, all kinds of things. And it just feels good. You keep your spine settled.
Did you say that you also, for a while, did Zumba? Was it?
Yeah, I do Zumba.
You still do?
Yeah,
Okay.
still during the day, because that's like going to a nightclub, but there's
During
no
the day.
alcohol and no one tries to touch you.
No,
so.
that's right. No smoke, no nothing,
smoke.
no vapes.
But that's still, I have fun with that. That's more
Yep.
like following. And so everything has its place if you like it. I took my daughter once to Zumba. She about died. She thought it was disgusting.
Yeah.
She doesn't like to dance. So
Right.
she does weights and all that. If that's the thing you like, that's the thing you like. I like that. I like weight-bearing things too.
Yeah, so I do a variety of things. My son and
do
I.
you
Okay, well, I'm
What
more,
would
I'm way
Kyle
more
do?
boring. This is not as good. But my son and I go to the gym 3 times a week.
Okay.
And then I gotta say, boring, but I like it. I like to walk. I like to get out and go walking, and I find myself after about 5-10 minutes just being in a different world. And I don't think about how many minutes I'm walking, how many miles. I'm just letting everything go.
the moment.
And I have to say, when I come back, I feel so much more refreshed. Now, most people that I share that with, especially my age, they're going, walking? What are you? How boring is that? I don't care. I don't care. I like it. The thing about it is that what's boring for one is absolutely perfect for somebody else. Another thing that I'll say that this is just a little tiny thing. My son and I have been going to the gym, and what's so interesting is that you evolve as you continue to go. You change up your routine. You kind of work through injury, all of that stuff. Do you know that one thing that I've been doing differently for a few months? I have been seeing a few guys in the gym, and they are doing the slowest reps you have ever seen. Slow, controlled on the concentric and the eccentric part of the lift. And I have been watching them with that control. I read a book called Body by Science. It talks about this kind of movement. I've been doing that. And first of all, it is so miserable. It burns so bad. And I love it. I absolutely love it. One of the things that I've discovered, we are packing to move, my family and I. The functional strength that this super slow has given me is so much better than the normal gym strength that I've developed. You know, you lift the weight, and then a couple of workouts later, you increase the weight, you keep increasing the weight, and I've been doing that no problem. But in terms of functional strength, day to day, how you feel, how you move, I got to tell you, this super slow is working for me. I can't believe how different it is, Lisa. It's so cool how this works.
That sounds, because I go to the gym too. I don't just go out dancing all the time. I work.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I have to work.
Oh,
first.
I've heard that maybe that's.
But I do go to the gym, and weightlifting definitely serves a purpose. I understand for brain health, it's like number one. And
it's amazing.
You would think it would be cardio to get the blood oxygen.
It's true.
It's weights. I probably heard that on Sean Stevenson's The Model Health Show.
Yeah.
And so that's one person I follow.
Sean Stevenson.
I love him.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, so all these varieties of things are helpful to live longer, to be healthy, to be happy. And I know people that don't like walking as well.
No,
But
no.
being outside, like you said, sometimes you forget that's nature. If you're in a forest bathing, that's what that is being out there. You take off your shoes in a safe, toxic-free environment, meaning no Roundup lawn. Grounding, barefoot. Yep. So that's another way. It's movement and grounding. Well, we go into that another time. But
I love that you said that. You know what you just reminded me of?
No.
Back in 1990 and 1991, I was a camp counselor at a boys' camp in Tennessee for a couple of summers. And it was in Cookeville, Tennessee. It was called Camp Country Lad. And it was a bunch of log cabins, very primitive. And it was beautiful. It was on a lake. We would go camping. There would be waterfall. It was great. But you know what was interesting? That right when you got to camp, it was traditional for you to take your shoes off, and you pretty much wouldn't wear them again unless you were horseback riding or doing a camp out. We went in the wilderness the whole summer, no shoes. We were out there all day, essentially hiking, but you didn't think of it. Now I'm going on a hike, but that's what you were doing. You were walking on hills, over hill, over dale, and everything else. And it was so interesting how at the end of each of those summers, everything was different. It felt like you were made out of wood and metal. It was a completely different kind of strength than gym strength. Yeah. It was, and that grounding that you talk about, I know that's another show altogether. Look it up, grounding.
Yeah.
But that's what we were doing all day, every day. And then you'd jump in the lake and you'd swim and refresh, and then you'd go eat something, and then you'd just go out. And it was all day, most nights, and it was outstanding. And what you felt like at the end of that summer was that you could do anything. I would get back into normal life, and, you know, you're hanging out with people, and you'd hear them complaining about, oh, I went to the mall and I had to park a long ways off. And you just thought to yourself, what is wrong with you? This is not how we're supposed to be, complaining that you had to walk 3 additional parking places. This changes you when you begin to bring physicality into your life. Yes, the blood sugar benefits. Yes, the brain health benefits. But boy, the way that you feel, Lisa.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. So we feel good. I mean,
simple as that.
Yeah, it's super simple.
And I found that whether you're doing the dancing, whether you're doing the kayaking, the Zumba, the active stretching, the gym, yoga. One thing that I do favorite. Exactly, and one thing that I have to say is that a lot of folks watch videos like this, and they're told, "Oh, you're going to feel so much better when you start exercising." Yeah, we're laughing, right? You don't at first. Guess what? You don't at first. And most people who've been exercising a long time and say, oh, you'll feel better. Oh, I feel awful unless I exercise. And you haven't been moving in a while. And then you go to the gym, or you take a walk, or you do a treadmill, and you're like, when does it start to feel good? It doesn't at first, Lisa.
No,
it really doesn't.
Used to it, yeah.
Right. And
so, but once you get used, you know what? That would be a generalization. I don't want to say anything. Everybody's different.
True.
And we all know we're supposed to. Sometimes we just have to get out of our comfort zone and do it, because you get to choose. The beauty of a lot of things is that our wellness, our longevity, how we age, our health span, we can adjust it if something's not working. So sometimes the learning curve is bumpy. So yeah, it might not feel good to go into the gym and get a trainer, and that first day you might be sore. Now we have supplements to help that.
That's right.
But and foods and everything, and there's ways around that. Health coaching can help you with that. But in general, say you're dealing with some health issues. Once you find out where they are, they say, what can I do to help work on that? So if I have blood sugar issues, moving more. And we're not getting into that health stuff, but so the beauty is we can make changes in our life.
Well, I want to say,
and pick which exercises.
yeah, exactly.
We like. Yeah.
And I think that I would like to give this piece of advice as well.
Okay.
When I was doing nutrition counseling, before you guys came to Oklahoma City, and you took my no
whining.
I know when I was doing nutrition counseling. Here's something that I discovered. A lot of people would start too strong. They would go too hard too soon. And the problem is they would go, look, there was a great series of infomercials, several years ago, P90X, Insanity, these kinds of things. Beachbody had the most beautiful infomercials I have ever seen. I was a huge fan. And Horton, who hosted many of them, I love the guy, really and truly. I have found that most people, based on my experience doing nutrition counseling, most people, they start a program like that and they might do it for a couple of weeks and then they're kind of going on adrenaline. They're kind of going on excitement and hope. And yet the sustainability is just not there. And so if that has been you and you have tried and you do something for a month and give up, or you raise your right hand on January 1st and say, this year I'm going to do it. You join the gym and by February you don't go anymore. I want you to try something different. I want you to do the most minimum amount of movement that you can, and I want it to embarrass you. I want you to be embarrassed to tell your friends how little you're doing. I'm not kidding you. I want you to go and do one set of exercise if you're going to the gym. One set. And you're like, well, I can do more. No, you can't. I want you to do a minimum amount. And here's why. The first thing that you want to develop with exercise is consistency. Consistency wins. Doing it all the time wins. Doing it for 2 weeks and giving up, and then 6 months later do it for 2 weeks and give up, that doesn't win. That is not how to change your life. I need you to start with consistency. If that means you walk a block the first day, and then 2 weeks later, you do it each day, and then 2 weeks later, you walk a block in a mailbox, and then a block in 2 mailboxes, and you just build up a little bit at a time. This will help you so much more than trying to go an hour with sprint, cardio, CrossFit. I love all those things. And if you can do it and stay consistent with it right out of the gate, God bless you, do it. For the other 90%, I think, who have a hard time staying consistent, I'm asking you to start much, much, much more minimally. Be embarrassed. Be embarrassed by how little you're doing, but do it every day and build up from there and up from there and up from there. And one day you're going to find yourself doing full workouts that people are going to be saying, man, you really are going hard. And you thought to yourself, man, I started by just doing 5 minutes. This is nothing. I think that by starting small, it's possible to build consistency. Am I crazy? Scrutinize me. You might feel differently. Tell me, Lisa.
Okay. This is that works if I think you're right. Atomic habits, little small habits you add in during the day.
Right.
Say you can't go to the gym. Maybe you park further away.
Yep.
Maybe you walk the stairs instead. We all know that. Here's another thing. Like, say if you wanted to start walking I have the group that hates the gym and that they don't want to have a relationship. So I said, well, why don't you go on the Oklahoma travel website and pull up the walking trails around Oklahoma City, because that's the area I work in. Pick a new one or find a friend. And so here's the thing that I personally did change just to get more activity, because I drive 45 minutes to an hour each way to work. I live in Edmond. I work south side, Oklahoma City, south, so that's 89th and Penn. But when I want to go hang out with my girlfriends, I don't usually meet them at the restaurants, though I am definitely food driven. You can probably lure me anywhere with a meal. But I'll say, hey, you want to go meet at the yoga studio? You want to meet at Lake Hefner, let's walk the lake. And so you kind of figure out how to get activity in different areas. Now, if you have a set routine, I like your idea, meaning I have to be to work at 8 to 5. So this is the time frame I have. It's important to get the habit in so that it's just like adding water into your day. You put a glass next to your toothbrush. You put a glass next to the coffee maker. So this would be the same thing when you're doing little bits. The object is basically to get into the habit.
That's it.
How long doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We could take our ego out of it and not be embarrassed by only working out for 15 minutes at the gym. We could put our fancy little outfit on, go there 15 minutes. Eventually, we're going to go, well, that person looks really healthy. What are they doing? And stuff. And you can add in little things. Like you said, start small. It's the routine you want to build.
Absolutely.
And then you can add movement into everyday life. Like I said, I go dancing at a nightclub. And so I don't drink while I'm there. I just dance. You can go walking with your friends. Saturday, you can go with your kids to the park, and do things. Get on the swing.
Taking the ego out of it. Talking to the guys, I've known a lot of young men who will go to the gym and they see these monsters in there. And these young guys will just start trying to swing the big weight because of ego. If you will just start small and take, like you said, the ego out of it, you will go so much farther and actually so much faster if you'll take it out, lift the proper way, not deal with, oh gosh, I only worked out for 10 minutes and now I guess I'm done. Forget about it. Build consistency, build the habit, atomic habits, and just get it done. I knew you'd have something to say about this. I'm glad. You dancer, you tiny dancer. That is Lisa Loos, nutritional health coach at Natural Grocers. If you live in a Natural Grocers state, go visit them. Make an appointment with a nutritional health coach. Shop in the store, and while you're there, take a look at the Ultra Botanica products. This show is brought to you by Ultra Botanica, makers of the super absorbable, high-intensity curcumin you can feel. It's the everybody, everyday curcumin. It's the feel-good curcumin. Why? It's because it actually absorbs, where so many of the other ones, you take it, but it just doesn't absorb well. This one will get in there. I promise you, when you're exercising, you want to feel it. You want that relief. There's different products at Natural Grocers that they carry. You can also go to ultratoday.com. You can take a look at all of the products that Ultra Botanica makes. We thank them for sponsoring this show. Thank you, Lisa, and thank you. We'll see you next time.